I think there's only a couple people in the township hall right now that are sitting on that board and know how to spell that word. Yeah, it does get battered about a lot. And it hasn't been practiced. People use it for their campaign slogans, and I swear they didn't know how to spell it. How can you have transparency? It's called communication. It's called working as a team. You know, some people talk about, he always wants to talk about Little League. Well, you know what? That's how you learn your foundation of teamwork. The board is 7 people. It's not the boss and 6 other people. The 7 people have to function as a unit, as a team. The way you do that, you communicate to each other. Even the 4 part-times that aren't in the building every day, emails, telephone calls. There's got to be ways to communicate with them, and if they're dedicated enough to want to run for that position, I'm sure they'll stop by later in that afternoon to have a one-on-one with you. The same thing with the residents. When a resident asks a question, you need to give them an answer. Now, if you don't have the answer right then, promise that resident that I will investigate that, and if I can call you tomorrow, if it's going to take till the next board meeting, they won't just be gone because it's a new board meeting. I'll answer your question. You are the citizens. You are the people that run this township, not the 7 people that are hoping to get elected. Between you citizens and the employees of Van Buren Township, they are the most important people in this community, not the 7 people trying to get you to vote for us up here tonight. It's up to us to communicate to you of why you should trust us to be leaders and guide the township. As long as we're guiding in the direction that you want as a citizen, then we're doing our job. If you have questions or if you have concerns and you're just walking away like this, someone's not doing their job. It's called communication. It's called one-on-one when necessary. It's not, can you stop by my office? I'll come to your house. You know, do you have a neighborhood group, a couple neighbors? Who's it concerning? This is not that big a township that we can't have a one-on-one. It's not that big a township that we can't have a town hall meeting once in a while.
I think transparency does come down to communication. It's also an availability of information. I mean, you can always FOIA information, but I think one topic that I would like to see moving forward is before the board meetings, having the availability of all the documents for review. That's actually going to fall more into the clerk's reign, but I think it's something that we should have availability. When the board members are up at the board discussing a topic, we should have the documents or be able to see the documents, even if they're online, be able to see and review the documents so that we know what's being reviewed. Then after the meeting, those documents that are approved should be available online as well, so that the citizens who are at home can also view those documents. But the other part of communication is communication between the board members. No team can exist without communication. You have to make sure that the person who is the leader of the group, the chairman, is allowing input and accepting the input from everybody on the board. You have 7 members on a board because it's a consensus to come up with the best solution for the township. Hopefully each one of the board members knows groups of different people who he gets feedback from, and he can bring all those ideas, or she can bring all those ideas to the board collectively so that we can come up with the best solutions for the entire township. After we have the solutions for the township, or an idea of what the solution could be, that solution needs to be communicated back. That's the transparency, giving the solution back and letting people review it and give further feedback before an answer is made. Right now, we don't have that full process working. We don't have feedback coming back from the residents and going back to the board. There's very little communication between the board members, especially on key decisions that are made just seemingly off the cuff because the other board members and the public don't know about them. We need to make sure that the public understands what their public officials are doing, and that can only come from the public officials communicating to the taxpayers and the public.
I promised I would not use the word transparency in my campaign. It's been much overused. Transparency to me means that you have to be accountable for what you say and what you do. And in my mind, it is the supervisor's job to make sure that every single board member knows what's going on and is informed, and that they act as a unified team, because it's not a monarchy. It's not, you know, my way or the highway. That doesn't work. It's a 7-member board, as has been said, and transparency simply means that you are open and above board with everything. There are no side conversations going on at the board table. There are no side conversations going on behind trustees' backs. And all of those things have taken place in the past term. That's not what transparency is, and that's not what you'll see if I'm elected. Thank you.
I don't have a plan. But I do know this, because it's what I study, is it's going to get tougher and tougher as we go along. The plan of the government, our federal government, is to inflate their debt away. It's the only way they can pay for it. And when they do that, that basically means they're inflating away our wages, our savings account, and they're going to drive up the cost of things. So it's going to get tougher as we go along. There was the auditor presented a report yesterday, and I thought they were kind of rosy on their expectations going forward about what we can expect. So that's the reason I'm here. It's going to get tougher, and I want to get involved in the fight to help us get through it. Thank you.
It does get tougher every day to figure out where the revenue is coming from. The state has picked away at our state shared revenue to where it's gone. They have this little glorified program called EVIP. You do a dashboard, you tell people where you are, you show people what you're doing with your employees, and they reward you with some money. So yeah, we were fortunate, we got about $57,000 back on that this year. We were lucky, we got an increase in our population, so our constitutional revenue went up because of that increase in population. That's another thing that has helped. We hope that we've almost hit the bottom. We had a reduction of about 2%. We hope that next year it's not that bad. We have predicted that. We have always been budgeted, at least I usually budget the revenue on the conservative side. So unfortunately, that makes everybody else on the expense side have to be a little conservative because I've been a little conservative. And that's our goal. We are a very fortunate community because we have a landfill. We get tipping fees, and we have been able to use that to support basically public safety in the general fund because we have been able to transfer money from that fund to cover that extra expense. So we are fortunate. We are fortunate that we've never had to pay for trash pickup. We have recycling on our curbs. If you folks were paying for that, all you need to do is check in some other communities and see what that has cost people. So we are fortunate. Maybe we didn't want that there, but there again, waste management was going to be cited by the state. This way, we got to deal with them first. We came up with an agreement. We get the tipping fees. It's keeping our public safety alive and well. And I think we can be very proud of that. We also get a certain amount of money from the dam. We rent the dam out and power is produced at the dam by an STS. We get a certain amount of revenue, which helps cover the boat revenue. So we are looking for more revenue sources all the time, but it does get harder and harder every time we're looking at budgets. Thank you.
Certainly I have statutory duties, I would have statutory duties if elected that are governed by that office. The wonderful part about Van Buren Township's clerk's office is the staff is so highly trained and competent and effective, and they manage that department so well. To me, what I see from my perspective is that in order for true democracy to work, we have to vote. And I would love to be one who engages us in being a community of active voters, where we are engaged and informed. And when we go to the polls in record numbers, we're empowered because we know that when we cast a vote, that creates a future. And so when we look at the candidates, we've done research. We know what that name means. We know if that person represents our values system, if that person's going to serve in our best interests. And so each person, when they come there, they're empowered, they're voting, and we're a thriving community because we're creating our future, we're creating the future of our state, and we're creating the future of our country. That to me is important as a